Hey there! It's May 18th, which means that last night was our big frost. Everybody had the frost warning messages and sirens going off. And I thought my lettuce would be okay. I thought it could handle a frost. And it's not looking so good. The toothache plant definitely did not like the frost and shriveled up a little bit. I cut some back because it looks like underneath there's still some green. It looks like that might try growing again, so hopefully it was protected a little bit and that will still grow. So I'm just gonna wait and see on that one. And the Brussels sprouts look all right. So it's really just the lettuce and the toothache plant, which that was kind of extra anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wait it out and see. Hopefully they start to come back, but if not, I'll just plant some more. Regardless, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it because luckily I didn't have everything planted. I heard some whisperings and saw that the weather might be a frost, so I held off on everything else. So now that that's out of the way, I feel more comfortable planting what I can. So today we're going to do Swiss chard and onions. So yeah, come hang out with me while I do that. So I'm not exactly sure how these are gonna go. This is my Swiss chard. I started this from seed, obviously, and it hasn't really changed. I did cut back everything but one per cell to see if that would help these ones grow a little bit more. And they got a little bit bigger after I did that, but they really haven't grown much in the last few weeks. So I'm not really expecting a whole ton. Swiss chard is just something that would be fun to try and to try to find some new recipes and see if that's something that Brad and I like eating because we haven't had a lot of Swiss chard. So I won't be that disappointed if this doesn't grow. But again, just trying new things and seeing what works. So I'm gonna transplant these anyway and see what happens. Hopefully they do all right. It's not looking good. It all just fell apart. There's no doubt in my mind that there's a better way to do this, but this is what I'm trying out. Oh, okay, that one actually came out pretty well. Until I touched it. I will say I do have a little bit more faith in this soil after seeing my cucumbers. I think I mentioned in a couple videos back that the cucumbers started to kind of brown up and die after I transplanted them into this. But I think that was an error with my, oh my God, see, what am I doing? Like this, I think it was an error in me not knowing how to transplant. I mean, I know I need to get a tool for this or something. I just thought I could do it with my hands, but it's proving to be difficult. Anyway, what I was starting to say is that I'm feeling better about the soil because those cucumbers started to come back. And actually, the ones that I put in cups of this soil are growing bigger than the ones that I kept in the seed starting mix in the original trays. So that makes me feel better. That makes me feel more confident in this. Hoping that it can continue to grow great things for me. So I'll just let it do what it's meant to do. I'm gonna do the rest of these and hopefully not mess up. All right, so I've got all my Swiss chard planted out here. I don't know if you can see on camera all the tiny pink little sprigs, but that's done. The last ones I feel better about than the first ones, so we'll see if closer this way these ones start to do better in the garden rather than those first ones, but we'll see. I have this extra square foot right here that I didn't have enough Swiss chard to fill, so I am going to put my rosemary there. Hopefully that doesn't cause issues. My plan for the herbs is just to put them wherever I have a spot. So here's a spot and here's my first herb. I didn't want to put lavender here because I think it would be too overwhelming, get too bushy and things. So I don't think the rosemary does that. I'll find out. Okay, so I don't really know how many onions I have started. I have some bunching and then Spanish white onions or Spanish yellow onions. And I have my space laid out. I'm taking this half of the bed for onions. The other half is gonna be for basil and tomatoes. My tomato trellis is gonna go where you are. So I think what I'm gonna do is just make one row. I can fit 9 per square foot. So I think I'm just gonna start with one row, see how many I have. If I need more space than that, I'll go up further because I'd rather have more space for my tomatoes, I think. I hope it's not a problem to have onions and tomatoes in the same bed. I should probably double check that. Okay, yeah, I think we're in the clear with tomatoes and onions. So I'm just gonna start doing it. Okay, green onion can actually be planted closer together because it's not bald. So 16. Okay, so for this next section, so I did 1 square foot of the bunching onions here. That feels a little rocky. There's a lot of bigger pieces of dirt. So what I did for the second one is I cleared a lot of that out and just moved it aside to get down to some of the more finer dirt. So I'm gonna see if that does anything. I'm gonna see if that has a better effect. I'm sure it will. I just don't want to have to keep moving all the bigger stuff around because it has to go somewhere and it's really hard to break up. So I think that's going to be my biggest barrier with these beds. It's not super smooth like I thought it would be, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so I totally underestimated how long that was going to take to put in each individual onion. So I got the bunching onions done, but I think that's all I have in me for right now. I'm also just going to see how these do and see if I need to make any adjustments before putting in the rest of my onions. The bunching onions are nice to have, but I'd rather have a lot of great bulb onions. So like I mentioned, the dirt is so clumpy that I'm not sure if putting it in the clumps is best. So I was trying to find like a smooth surface. It wasn't really working out that well. So I'm gonna watch and see how these do before doing the rest of them anyway. So I'll leave it for the weekend and come back and plant the rest, hopefully, if it works out well. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me while I put the Swiss chard and onions into my garden, and I hope you subscribe and stick around for the next set of onions and everything else that I'll be putting in. All right, thanks.